It's up to you.
As long as your test goes back.
You guys is going to share.
I don't know how that all goes on.
When we get into the earliest when we get into but it's going to be different.
My brother's
There's going to be multiple different sessions, so make sure that you can ask all the right all
Y'all waited pretty hard. I forgot about get up there. Dr. Page. Go ahead. File agreements. You want paper right now?
Call the meeting over. All please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Village clerk, please call roll.
Burgess.
Here.
Gordon.
Here.
Myers.
Here.
Oscar.
Here.
Washington.
Here.
Here.
All right, move to item number 2, public comment. All questions or comments must be directed to the mayor. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to comment on topics on the agenda items only. Each speaker will be allowed 1 minute to speak. If you have something to please come forward. Seeing none, move to reports of office.
Don't see one. I'm coming.
If you have something you'd like to say, please come to the podium. We're right along.
Okay. My question is this, as far as the public relations community outreach partnership committees, is that 2 separate committees and what are their functions? That's one, and since I noticed that, Police Chief Cornelius is going to receive some type of appreciation award, the officer or some other individual that someone would want to, let's say, maybe also receive some appreciation or recognition. What is the procedure for that?
All right, answer is, first of all, there are 2 committees, and they're both run by Trustee Williams. Mr. Trustee, if you want to give your definition, description.
Historically, the Public Relations Committee has been responsible for doing things like Student Government Day. We used to do employee and volunteer appreciation, and as we've stated multiple times in this past year, that the traditional way that we did that is not something that we do anymore because of the cost. But we have worked with the Community Outreach Partnership Committee to do a small token of appreciation for our employees this year. We also, as the Public Relations Committee, have worked with other committees to do fundraising for fireworks, for other activities throughout the village. So right now, Student Government Day has been our, traditionally for the past couple of years, our main focus. The Community Outreach Partnership Committee is basically the same premise that the Police Alliance Committee was. It's a liaison between the village, the residents, and the police department. However, we've also adapted other departments as well. And to answer your question about the recognition, both committees have reported through myself that if there is an individual, whether it's in the police department or any other department, that you think should be especially recognized, we encourage you to contact myself or the village clerk so we can add them to the someone you should know or do an employee recognition. And if you just submit that in writing with your contact information and kind of who they are and why you think they should be recognized, then we can work with you to make that happen.
Ready? Anyone else? Questions or comments? All right, seeing none, we'll move to item number 3, reports of officers. Got the mayor's report. It's really loud tonight. First of all, I just want to let everyone know we have a special meeting called for this Thursday, 6 p.m. here at the Village Hall, and it is for a resolution to accept the $4.8 million that the governor made the announcement on October 11th. So there needs to be a resolution along with all of our applications and paperwork. So special meeting for that. 6 p.m. here at the Village Hall. And it's been posted, so everything's out there. The other thing is we have someone you should know. Now, there's Jim Taylor here tonight.
Mr. Mayor, he told me he attends school on Tuesday nights, but he can try to be here. But I will tell you that he was very honored to be receiving this recognition.
I'll go ahead and read this, and we'll make sure you get a copy of it. Someone you should know. Jim Taylor and Bear Paint should be recognized by the Village of Sauk Village as someone you should know. The reason we are nominating Mr. Taylor is because when Chris was trying to figure out how to fundraise in order to finish his Eco Scout project before the weather changed, Jim Taylor was very helpful. After getting approval from council to ask for donations, he went to Bear Paint and asked to talk to the manager. The receptionist asked if Chris had an appointment. Chris told him no and told her why he was there. Mr. Taylor invited him into his office. While in the office, Chris told Mr. Taylor why he was asking for a donation of 20 gallons of stain. Mr. Taylor told Chris he would donate all the stain and is only asking that Chris take before and after pictures and bring them to him at the completion of this project. Also, Bear Paint delivered the stain to the community center, so we did not have to pick it up. Without the generous donation by Mr. Taylor and Bear Paint, it may have delayed this project until spring. Sincerely, Christopher Witten family. As here in the Village of Sauk Village is proud to recognize Jim Taylor and Bear Paint as someone you should know. This is not the first time Jim and Bear Paint have worked to be a partner in committing to move the village forward and in being involved in such a positive way. So I'd like to thank Jim Taylor and Bear Paint. All right, we made some announcements last week, but some of the stuff may be on the table. If not, it's probably on the wall. But don't forget that the annual Veterans Entrepreneur Boot Camp is at Governor State University. That's November the 13th. That's from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. There's some information. There's some little cards on the table and bags, so if you know someone. And also, we're still, I'm sure, stealing thunder from the clerk, but early voting is also through Sunday, November 2nd. So get out there and vote, let your voice be heard. All right. With that said, we move to Village Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As the mayor just said, that we have 5 more days to do early voting, and at polling places, you can actually register to vote and vote at the same time. So they're encouraging voting all the way up until the last minute. And I have a list of all of the early voting locations on the back table if anybody needs to know where you can go to do your early voting. And a list of all the other election information that you need to know is actually on our website, www.saukvillage.org. That would include all your polling places and all the other information you need for voting. The election is next Tuesday, and we will be having a board meeting, and we will be open that day. Veterans Day is the following Tuesday, and we will be open on that day. So just so nobody thinks that we're going to be closed on those days. And we will be open on both days. And for anybody who's still interested in having a trust me, please check out the clerk's website at www.cookcountyclerk.com. All the information you need is on that website. Any questions you have that can be answered by the Cook County Clerk, please feel free to reach out to me or go. We have 2015 Battle of the Suburbs that's happening in Park Forest on November 3rd. All the entry forms are due. We're calling all singers, rappers, and dancers. It's back. Apparently, Park Forest Idols has done this before, and there's open auditions to the entire South Suburbs. So if you know any kids who might be wanting to participate in this, and really I don't see any ages that's open to all ages, so if you know anybody who wants to participate, I do have entry forms for that. Also at Park Forest, there's Halloween festivities happening at the downtown Park Forest Dining on the Green at 349 Main Street, Friday, October 31st, from 3 to 6 p.m. If anybody's interested in that, I can also provide that information. And lastly, I just want to say there was a lot of information last week about the Open Meetings Act and about the petitions being signed in the Village Hall and the ordinances that we're trying to put forth. I just want to make it very clear that I'm the village clerk, but I'm also the Open Meetings Act officer. In no way was any inquiry to the Attorney General, personal or political. I would hope that everybody would understand that I do have functions beyond taking meeting minutes as the village clerk. As the Open Meetings Act officer, when people come to me with concerns and questions, my first alternative to reach out to is the Attorney General. In this case, because the Open Meetings Act is so ambiguous, the attorneys were actually brought in. So, just so everybody understands, I'm here to work for all of the residents. If you have questions, my office is open anytime. My cell phone is from one side of the village hall to the other. And it's also on the most current, what's happening in Sauk Village, which is on the back of the table. And I encourage everybody to pick one of those up. There's a lot of things going on in the village. The problem is, we have a problem with communicating. And it's at every level. And I would hope that we all try to work together, play together, and have activities together. Because I see a lot of work being done by a lot of people. And as far as the town hall meetings are concerned, I'm a big proponent of town hall meetings. Because that's one time I can speak as a resident. Because as a village clerk, I've lost that right. So I've been to a couple of town hall meetings, and I love them. So I hope they continue. So I just wanted to make that perfectly clear. Trustee Burgess, keep up the good work. That's all I have.
All right, move to village attorney, Matt.
Just one quick update. We did receive some direction from the Attorney General's office. And essentially what they told us is with regards to any events or like these town hall meetings, that if you're going to have a quorum or if 3 members of the board or the mayor or president that they can't transact business or deliberate, it would be a violation of the Open Meetings Act. But as long as they're not transacting business or deliberating together, that it would not be. So, based on that, I think what's been going on so far has not been a violation of the Open Meetings Act, but just keep an eye on it for
All right, move to village engineer, Mr. Zunick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. An update on the water treatment plant improvements project. Some very good news. The testing on well 3 has been completed and it is passed. And the IEPA has granted approval for Sauk Village to operate the well. So look for that. Hopefully that'll make a difference in improving water quality. And then on the downside, there's some additional work that has to be done at water treatment plant 1, and we'll extend the project by a couple of months. So we're working with the IEPA and the Attorney General's office to get their blessing on that. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Trustee.
I have a question. Is well 3 on yet?
I was hoping Kevin was going to be here because I don't know for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, move to reports of trustees and board committees, Parks and Recs, trustee Oscar.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I'd like to say that our trunk and treat event that went on last Saturday, we had a great time. A lot of kids showed up. We had a lot of people show up that are opening up their trunks with the kids. So a great big thank you to all of you who showed up and to all the kids. We gave all the pumpkins away. All the kids went home with pumpkins. So we had a really good time out there. And thank you to the village people and who helped and who showed up for that event. Thank you very much. Now I'll start my list of things about coming. All right, on November 6th, we have the next Parks and Recs meeting at the Community Center at 6 o'clock. So anybody's open, we're open to new people and any ideas or suggestions. So if you want to come out for that, that would be great. On the 7th, we have family game night, where again, at 6 o'clock at the Community Center. That will be open to all family members and all adults and children to come out, play games, to meet and get along with your neighbors, and there'll be some light refreshments there. On the 8th will be the flea market craft show. We're looking for a lot of people to come out. We've got about 15 to 20 tables already rented, so we're moving along really well. Now we need to get some people out there to come out and see what our vendors will have for sale. So it should be a good time, so come on out. And that's Saturday from 9 to 3 p.m. on November 8th. November 21st will be the next movie night. I'm planning on It's a Wonderful Life. So we all know that movie. It's a great movie. Come on out and watch that movie. It's only on TV once a year now, so give your second chance to see that. On the 29th, the kids from Wagner School will be turning in their projects. Their projects, first kindergarten, first and second, I've asked them to make decorations for the Christmas trees at the community center for when Santa arrives. So that's their day, and I'm going to be there for have kids if they want to come out, decorate the trees, come out, help out us decorate trees because they're going to be getting decorations. The principal was very excited about this, so as kindergarten, first and second grade classes will be making decorations to decorate our trees for Santa. I'm also looking for people on the 22nd, Saturday before that, to help us out with trees. We've got about 6 or 8 trees to set up, so I could use a little help with that. And finally, on December 6th, Santa will be coming to town. He'll be coming and making his way around with the parade. So we have a lot of exciting things coming up in Parks and Recs, and I hope you all attend. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trustee. Beautification Committee, no report at this time. We'll go to Ordinance Review Committee, Trustee Myers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a brief comment tonight. The Ordinance Review Committee will meet November 13th, 7 p.m. here at the Village Hall. And I'd like to remind the trustees that I still haven't received any reply from last week's discussion on the ordinance. Please, ladies, gentlemen, trustees, please get your comment back to me. Right away and proceed with the same. Thank you. That's all I have, sir.
To Intergovernmental Relations Committee, Trustee Burgess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a quick note. Last week, we were supposed to have a CETA Energy Assistance Program, and due to a glitch from CETA, if their computers or laptops weren't working, we didn't have that. So we will be rescheduling it as soon as I find out from the program director at CETA. I do have people's names and phone numbers down. If anyone's here tonight that would like to participate in that, or that they weren't there and they would like to come, it should be within a week. I'm not sure exactly when she's going to do it, but if you'd like to leave your name and phone number here this evening, I will take it down and contact you when we have the next one. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Neighborhood Watch Committee, Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to remind everybody that we'll be having our next Neighborhood Watch meeting on Monday, November the 10th. It's always the second Monday of every month at the fire station. Also, I wanted to give, I guess it's a silent kudos to a Block Club captain that I have. I received a phone call on yesterday from one of my Block Club captains, and they were at a local business. And at this business where they went in to conduct some business and to purchase something, and they are a different ethnicity. When they walked out of the business, there were approximately 7 young men of another ethnicity outside, and the sidewalk is so narrow. When they came out from doing business, one of the young men took his shoulder and hit him against his shoulder real hard, and kind of, knocked him back a little bit. So they all started laughing about it. So the person that they did this to, of course, being a male and being out there alone, either had to make a decision to retaliate and feel like they had to uphold their manhood, or they had to just walk it off while they laughed and was just cracking up at what they had done to this individual. So when they got to their vehicle, they called me and they said, I know you're the Neighborhood Watch, and I just experienced a horrible situation where I'm walking out of an establishment and these young men are out there, they walk right past me and take their shoulder and push it against my shoulder real hard and knock me back, and they're just laughing. So one part of me as a man want to go over there and handle my business. The other part of me wanted to just, walk it on off. And I talked to them and we were able to diffuse it. And I'm saying all that to say this is a real situation, and this happens all the time. And these two different races, this could have really been a big situation in Sauk Village. And I just want to applaud the Neighborhood Watch because somebody is listening. And I just wanted to let him know that we would appreciate him for taking the high road and walking off and going to his car. But I want to know if there can be, and I know that we did the back to school safety rally, but we need to have some kind of meeting where we can let parents know that they need to talk to their children when they're in the streets, not just only in Sauk Village, but to stop inciting and provoking people that would cause a reaction that something fatal could really happen, because it's really serious. These, some of these young people, they do things that take them out of character, I'll word it like that. And when they're on those different things that take them out of character, they become more aggressive and they bully. And this was a grown man that they did this to. So I just wanted to put it out there for all of you that may know young people in the village, and maybe some of them may be a little rougher than others, if you have an ear with them to let them know it's never good to bully. I know that we're pushing through the neighborhood to watch no bullying at the young people in the grammar schools, but believe it or not, there are adults that bully as well. So I wanted to give a silent kudos to that Black Club captain tonight that made a decision to walk that off yesterday, because if he had followed his first man just being a man and then just having people laughing at you like, what you gonna do about it? It could have been a different situation, and I applaud that, and that concludes my report.
Okay, trustee Lewis, Public Relations Committee and Community Outreach Partnership Committees, trustee Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of things. For the Public Relations Committee, the village clerk did speak with the superintendent of District 168 regarding some of the upcoming events that we have going on as far as the village sticker contest as well as Student Government Day. We were informed that due to the changes in the testing schedule that the 8th graders will be participating in, that we will be unable to have Student Government Day in March for the next coming year. So it will be in April. We are working out the details between ourselves and District 168 to determine what day that will be held. It's on a board meeting night, so it'll either be the 2nd or the 4th. We're trying to determine which one will be better for both sides. And it's going to be a little bit odd because it's usually the last board meeting in March. And from what I understand, that this may be a consistent change. So it's something that the committee will need to discuss at our next board meeting. So I wanted to let everybody know about that, and the next meeting will be the first Wednesday of the month, and we will discuss those changes as well as the new calendar, because that has already been set into place. The Community Outreach Partnership Committee, going back to the public relations, Sauk Talk articles are due this Friday. The Community Outreach Partnership Committee, we did meet last week to finalize the police department appreciation, and we will be meeting again on the 11th of November. And then item number 1 after that, appreciation. We do have some members of the police department who are going to be appreciated today, and I will turn it over to the village clerk as she has the words.
Okay, the first person we're going to recognize tonight is Police Chief Timothy P.L.A.N. You can step forward, please. And I'm sorry, I do mispronounce his name. I believe it's P.L.A.N. Okay, so Chief Timothy P.L.A.N. He's been actually with the Sauk Village Police Department since 1986 as a patrolman. He's moved in the ranks in the following ways. He's been working in undercover narcotics. He's worked with the gangs. He's worked with SWAT. He's worked as the chief of detectives. He's worked and been promoted to sergeant. And he has also been our interim chief, our deputy chief, and most recently, our chief of police. And we want to thank you today, Chief, for your years of service since 1986 through today. We hope that you have many more years of continued service for the village of Sauk Village. Thank you very much. Detective Michael his career in 1988 as a patrolman and served in the following capacities over the past 25 years. K-9 officer, gangs crime officer, juvenile officer, field training officer, SWAT, Major Crimes Task Force. Michael Davitt is currently assigned as detective and has served in that role since 2007. Shortly after his appointment to detective, he was appointed to Major Crimes Task Force as a homicide investigator. During his tenure as K-9 officer, Davitt worked closely with his K-9 partner Frank Apollo, who retired in 2009 and eventually passed away at the age of 14. After serving his tour of duty, Detective Davitt enjoys serving the community as a detective and looks forward to his retirement one day. And to you also, Officer Detective Michael Davitt, thank you very much for your years of service, and we look forward to many more.
Move to item number 5, reports of departments, committees, and commissions. Start with Fire Department, 911 Commission, Chief Stockard.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. Over the past 2 weeks, Fire Department responded to 14 calls. 1 illegal burn, 5 vehicle accidents, 3 fire alarms, 1 gas leak, smoke coming from a stove, smell of gas. Also be advised that the Fire Department, as the Public Works, have all completed their mandatory CPR trainings. And as of this time, all of our equipment, engines, squads, have all been PM and all been pumped to cover the NFPA standards.
Great job, and thank you to all the employees. That's one of the things that you got with us from the Safety Committee, correct? So, great job. Thank you very much. Move to Police Department, Chief Valetis.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to forego a formal report tonight. The only update that I would like to give to the citizens and the trustees is that our final suspect in the latest murder on September 13th over on Peterson Avenue has been turned over to us by the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Department in Georgia. The suspect was also hiding out in Georgia. He has been extradited. We took custody of him a few days ago, and I went before the judge, received a no bond bail. And I'll just take a moment, as long as they're in the house, with both my detectives are here, I'd like to congratulate them on what a great job they did on these murders, by the way. The reason I'm going to forego the report tonight is because I'd like to recognize several of our officers who have been, should I say, a little bit more than aggressive for our DUI enforcement. One officer in particular, Officer Luke, he gets this award pretty much year in and year out, and several years he's been one of the highest DUI ticket writers in this area. So very briefly, I'd like to read this. This is a letter that I received from the Alliance Against Intoxicated Motorists, Chief Timothy Halevis. Dear Chief Halevis, on behalf of the Alliance Against Intoxicated Motorists, it is our great pleasure to acknowledge the exceptional DUI enforcement of Officers Gary Luke, Chad Frederickson, and Seth Brown by awarding a certificate of appreciation in recognition of these life-saving efforts. Every year, hundreds of people are killed and thousands severely injured as a result of alcohol and drug-related crashes in Illinois. It takes only seconds to become a victim without warning or choice. Impaired drivers make choices. They choose their weapons, vehicles, and alcohol or drugs. we at AIM pledge to continue our fight against impaired driving and to persist in our campaign of this 100% preventable crime. AIM conducts its annual DUI survey of over 700 Illinois police agencies with funding from the Illinois Department of Transportation, wherein we request your department's top DUI officers. In response, we ask that you pay tribute to these fine officers as one of AIM's top cops with our congratulations and a presentation of the enclosed award. You have our sincere appreciation and heartfelt thanks for exceptional public service. Respectfully, Rita Kreslin, Executive Director. So what I'll do is, Seth Brown, he's kind of trying to get here real quick. He's on a search warrant right now. I'm not sure if he's going to make it, but I'll have Officer Frederickson and Officer Lou come up. And so everybody knows they will also be receiving a departmental community service award. Gentlemen.
Thank you. I'd just like to say that job well done. Thank you.
All right. Move to item number D, Administrative Service Director, Mr. Lindsay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My throat's a little more sorry. We've been having a lot of incidents with cars being parked for sale in front of a lot of these businesses. I found a couple ordinances. We're going to start writing tickets on them. They're all over the place. Secondly, I heard there was some complaints about the answering service at the last committee meeting. We got a hold of Black Box, and everything has been reset, so the recording should be correct. And then for the month of October, code enforcement wrote 93 tickets on various violations. That concludes my report.
Mr. Mayor? Yes, Sherry, I think it was last week I asked you about over there in Fairway, in the parking lot over there, and I brought it to your attention that two of the banks of lights that are on the east side that are facing Fairway were out. Today they're still out. Is there any way we can talk to the owner to find out? That was one of the reasons why, I was questioning about giving a Class 8 to find out what he's going to do. Those lights have been out ever since they striped that parking lot, ever since Advance Auto has been there. And I'm just wondering, I know you talked to him, but is there any update of when he's going to come? Because it's dark over there by Fairway.
Called Stephen, the plaza owner, and we haven't heard nothing, so I don't know if there's an electric problem. I'll have a follow-up tomorrow on that.
Yeah, because it's a safety problem, and I'm kind of sure that Advance Auto and the other in Fairway would kind of wonder, because it's dark, that people coming out of their store at 7 o'clock, even though it's dark out. We need to address that. I don't know, maybe we can get their attention another way, but they need to give us an explanation why those lights have been out. They've been on a couple of weeks now.
Well, I also noticed that the new Advanced Auto sign is out too, so I don't know if it's an electrical problem. Maybe they hit something, I'm not sure. I'll call them tomorrow and follow up on that.
Thank you.
Trustee?
Thank you, Sherry. I also want to ask you, Ellis, the laundromat, her front door is broken. Do we have anything to do with talking to the landlord about that? She said she has spoken to him various times about the front door. It's not working, it's broken.
Well, she's not getting any, what am I trying to say? If she's not getting any satisfaction with the landlord, or her speaking to him, she can always call our department and we can handle that.
All right. There's the finance director, Mr. O.
Thank you, Mayor and Board of Trustees. There are a couple items. The Treasurer's report for 2013 and 14, the year-end was 4/30/2014, has been reported to both Will County as well as Cook County. Second is the financial report for 911 system was reported to Illinois Commerce Commission a couple of days ago. The third item is the financial reporting for August and September will be available pretty soon. Last but not the least, the audit report for 2013 and 14 will be available shortly. Probably takes a month and 15 days because of the fact we need to bring in both fire as well as police pension reporting into the system so that it will be complete in its entirety. That is my report.
Yeah, Mr. Mohan, you gave us a report. Did you want us to act on this, talk about it, bring it up, anything that you gave us the financial report for this period, this account payables? You have on here a note. Did you want that brought up today?
Unless other trustees and mayor has any questions.
Okay, I do have questions, but I would like to, since this is something that is very important, I think we need to break this, and if it's possible, we can put this on the next committee meetings agenda so we can discuss, because, us trying to keep going to these funds to basically balance the budget or basically pay bills is something that we need to address. We need to find out.
My sincere request is to get it over today itself so that I can get the checks done and send it over to you.
You want it voted on today?
Yes, please. So it has to go to Amalgamated Bank, then it will take another 5-10 days. So the deadline will be pretty much soon. I don't want that to happen to the village. We want to pay well in advance to the Amalgamated Bank.
Okay, okay, you're right. Well, I did talk to you about this, and the amount that you were talking about was, and correct me if I'm wrong, $457,929.34. Is that correct? Correct. And you had looked at various funds to withdraw that money from. So you want an action taken today by the board. I didn't know we were going to do that. If we are, then it's the will of the board, I imagine, but I do have a few reservations about it. I mean, when are we going to stop taking money from funds? I mean, the budget was balanced. At least that's what was said, that the budget was balanced. Now we're looking at this kind of money, which I've already said that we were going to have a problem with that we were going to do that. And to keep taking money from funds that are earmarked for something else, I'm not saying it's illegal. I'm just saying that we need to look at that. We keep balancing the budget, or we keep subsidizing for money that we raise for a different entity. Then, why do we keep doing that?
The fact of the matter is, we don't have the tax levy as supposed. The village is supposed to have gotten at least about $550,000 to $600,000. I don't know when it's going to happen. It's going to be here in November or December. I'm not 100% positive because most of the residences down here are tanked down, and if they can't pay their tax levy or taxes on the property,
right? That was discussed.
We have no control over it. So,
well, what I'm saying is this. We've already so-called transferred $300,000 out of the water fund to the general fund. Now we're asking for another $457, which would be $750,000 within this 6-month period. And only thing I'm asking is, I know we're going to put the money back, but this is just 6 months into the budget. We still got another 6 months, and we have other things that are pending. And I did get a report right now with our budget for different departments. We're behind in a couple of those. In other words, we're getting ready to overextend ourselves in a couple of those things too. And we need to really look at this. I don't know if we can. You asked them to vote this out tonight, but I think we need to go over this and look at this again, because right now the police department, I'll give you one example. We budgeted $160,000 for overtime. Well, right now they're at $141,000. So I mean, we can't tell them no. We can't tell the police department that they cannot keep working overtime. But we have to come up with a solution. What are we going to do from this point on? This is 6 months. I'd like to, get this done now, then waiting until something like this comes, and then come December, because yes, we know we have to borrow money, but come December, now we're stretching to pay payroll. We're going back in these same funds again. I'm sure the people in the village wanted that money that's earmarked, and the money I'm talking about is the water fund money, and the other fund that you were talking about, the CNN fund and TIF. The money's there, but it's earmarked for something else. So I just wanted to find out what this board, what are we going to do other than just continue to pull money from other funds that were earmarked for something else, rather than look at the main problem. What is the pleasure and what is the plan, instead of keep taking the money out? Keep taking the money out. The people are paying $7.50 for 1,000 gallons of water. Now, the governor said he's going to give us 4.8. Okay, fine, we pay that off. We pay off the loan for that $4.8 million. So therefore, we haven't done any infrastructure repairs, which is what we raised the money for. Are we prepared to say, since this money's paid off, are we going to give back $2 for the people that are paying the increase? And until we come up with a plan to what we're going to do, instead of putting it in the piggy bank and then taking it out of that piggy bank and putting it back, this is not what it's for. That money in the water fund is for infrastructure repairs. The money that we got from the governor is for a loan. Well, I was told that it was for a loan. Okay, we paid the loan off. But to keep having money in there, we keep using it for our shortfalls. That's not what it's for. That's why I said we need to have a plan, a financial plan of what we're going to do to move forward for the next 6 months. I would hate for you to come back in 3 months and say we can't pay payroll. And now we have no money because we haven't got any tax money. We take it from these funds, and there's no money now to pay payroll. Now what do we do? And I'm just asking that we need to have either something next week or some kind of a plan in place when that happens. Because I don't see any money coming in between now and next year anyway, because taxes have been paid. I mean, we're going to levy again in December, but we all know that doesn't come until March. So I don't see any large amount of money coming the rest of this year. And I'm just asking that we should have something in place.
Trustee Brady, for the points, we're going to address these points. First thing you mentioned about police overtime, I think you have to look at how many murders we had this year. I mean, when we did the budget, we were hoping we didn't have issues like we had. So we've had issues there. But the police department has proven they've done a great job. The overtime has paid off. They've been able to go out and get these criminals and bring them to justice. So as a village, we don't like to see things like this happen, but it's great to know that we have a police department that's on the job and doing a great job. So we've got that. We talked about borrowing money. Borrowing money is nothing new to Sauk Village. It's happened ever since you were on the board and before you were on the board. You know it because you voted on in the past that the Sauk Village had to borrow every year $500,000 every year until our tax revenue money came in. Sauk Village did that all the way up to 2009. After there was another administration, they used the borrowing of the water funds instead of going out and getting low interest loans. So we haven't gone out and got any loans to make up for that $500,000, but if you get paid at the end of the month, you only get paid one time. You've got bills throughout the middle of the month that have to pay. We know that tax revenue is coming in. we're gonna borrow money at this point to make sure we can pay some bills when as the money comes in. The funds have always been put back where they're supposed to be paid, so, again, it's nothing new. So the $4.8 million, as everyone knows, if you've been online, you've seen the video from the governor, you've seen the IEPA press statement. Everyone knows it's been made very clear what that money was used for. That money coming to Sauk Village and pay off the low interest loan through the IEPA. That's why the money was given to Sauk Village. If you want to go out, if you go on my Facebook page, you'll see the governor's response. If you didn't get to see, if you weren't here on October the 11th, you can hear what the governor said. It makes it very clear. So what do we do with the money coming in for the water? We put that money back into the village and we do infrastructure. We've already got working on what's going to be done, what repairs we're going to be making. We already talked about a couple weeks ago, we've already started purchasing fire hydrants. So there's a lot of work that has to be done, and there's a lot of work that will continue to be done with that money as we have, we'll continue making infrastructure repairs. So I've met with Kevin, he's prioritizing along with Jim on what needs to be done, what work needs to be done over the next year. We're looking at streets, looking at infrastructure, so there's a lot that has to be done. So again, for especially some of the new board members, for our older trustees sitting here, some of the statements kind of concerns me. We've done it in the past, so you know what's had to be done. We haven't gone out, we haven't got a $500,000 loan to fill a gap until our money comes in. So it's something, like I already said, has been done for years, all the way to 2009. And then the water funds after 2009 were used as that gap filler until the revenues were coming in through state revenue. So maybe just
Mr. Mayor,
just forget, I guess.
I know, I have not forgotten. I do know simple math. And this is simple math. I'm not saying I did not at one time saying we should not pay the police department, so don't get that. Don't even put that out there. Okay, but you said that they do a fine job. Yes, we know they do a fine job. I want to pay them. I don't want for us to have to come back in December or January and say we can't pay them because we don't have the money because we took the money out of another fund that hasn't been replenished yet. As you stated, I've been a trustee for a while. I do know we're not getting any tax money until next year. If you get anything, it'll be a trickle. We won't get this kind of money until next year.
Well, we do
so I'm asking,
what you
what
don't
is
know is you don't know. That's your problem. Because we do have money coming in, and we're waiting for that money to come in. That's why we're borrowing money from the water fund. I think that the finance director made it very clear, we're expecting, what, $500,000 to $600,000, but we don't know if it's going to come in at the end of November, if it's going to come in December sometime frame. So the money is coming in. The thing is, we have something that has to be paid at the beginning of December, and to make sure that that gets paid, that's why he's asking the board to approve that we borrow these funds so that we make sure that we make this payment at when it's supposed to, rather than waiting to the last minute and saying, okay, the money's not going to make it to the end of December. We know how the state is, we know how the money comes in, so.
Mr. Mayor, since you speculated, so tell me if the money doesn't come in and we can't make payroll at the end of December because we haven't got the money to pay, what are we prepared to do then? That's all I'm asking is for a plan. All I asked for was a plan to put in place just in case that scenario you just got to say does not happen. We all know what the state is. We all know what happens with the state. They may or may not be able to give us our money. In the meantime, we have to operate. And right now, I'm calling to your attention and to the rest of the board's attention that right now we're almost at our max for overtime, and it's not even, it's just 6 months into the year, into the fiscal year. What plan do we have for going on? If we deplete these particular funds, what do we do in December when we really need to pay payroll? That's one of the things we need to do. But you say we know we got money coming in. There's nothing definite. Yes, the check is in the mail, but there's nothing definite. And I'm asking for definite. That's the way I pay my bills with what I have in my pocket, not what I think I'm going to come in. So all I'm asking you to do is, can we have a plan just in case, something put into place? What are we prepared to do as a board in case this money doesn't come in? And we don't go back and tell them, well, we can't give you the overtime right now because we can't pay this. We have to pay payroll and we have to pay their health plans and things like, we have to pay those things for our employees. Our employees come first. All I'm asking is a plan in case that money doesn't come in. What do we do to move forward in that time? That's all I'm asking. And as far as the tax money is concerned, yes, it's supposed to come in. It's supposed to come in. That's the key word, supposed to. But right now, I deal in positives. I'm sorry, I don't know, but I deal in positives. I deal with what we have right now, and I see what we have in the bank right now. And if we're pulling out of TIF 4, we're pulling out of the CN, which we pulled out already, so there's only $212,000 left in the CN fund. And we're pulling out of the water fund, which the reason why we have extra money there is because we raised the rates, and that's why the money's there. And the money's there so we can get a loan, which we did get a loan, a low interest loan that we get ready to pay off. But in the meantime, we won't even start, and that's not in this budget to pay that money back because we haven't finished using that money. And as you know, that we don't start paying that money back until we finish using the low interest loan. But that's not in the budget to pay that $267 this year. So what plan? I'm asking you that we need to come up with a plan of case scenario number 1, which is what you're saying, that the money is supposed to come in from the state. If it doesn't happen, what are we prepared to do as a village, as a board, to counteract what may happen? That's all I'm asking. Everyone has a disaster plan. I'm asking for one from this board that we can do something just in case they don't pay us our money.
Well, trustee, I think you bring up a good point. I mean, if you want to bring up hypothetical situations and if you want to have a doomsday, that's fine. But we've been able to pay our employees. We'll continue to pay our employees. And if you have any suggestions, I'm willing to listen.
I have 25 pages of suggestions, Mr. Mayor. And you do it down. I have 25 pages of suggestions and nobody seemed to look at them. And everything that I put on there was taken apart paragraph and sentence by sentence. Those were suggestions. And no one's, we still passed the budget. Now guess where we're at? Back when I said that we were going to fall short. I'm only about a week and a half off because I said we were going to fall short in November. Here it is in October.
Well, see, if our tax money was here, we wouldn't fall short.
Mr. Mayor,
so you want to say, you know what?
If we can't run this village, Mr. Mayor, if we can't run
budget
this,
is ran off of projections.
It's not run off.
Budget is ran off of what's supposed to be coming in. So
we can't run this town on this,
paid,
Mr. Mayor. If these employees here do not want to see if I get my check, they don't want if. We need a concrete plan so we can know that we have at least a backup plan in case plan A doesn't work. That's all I'm asking. I'm not trying to get personal anything. I'm just asking a question. That we need a backup plan instead of keep borrowing from funds. Sooner or later we're going to run out of funds. We're going to run out of different funds that we have to back us up. Right now, yes, we have the luxury of having a backup. We have funds that we have to back us up. But I don't see this kind of money coming in the rest of this year, if it happens. But myself, I don't operate on it. If I'm gonna go to the store and hope if my card works,
Right.
I go to the store. If I give that person my credit card or whatever, I already know that it's going to work. If it's not going to work, I don't give it to them. I just don't go. And that's the way most people pay their bills. They don't get their card and say if it'll work. It's not as bad a business, Mr. Mayor. This is a town. This is a village. We have people that we employ here. They would like to know more than if the money comes in. And that's all I'm saying. We're supposed to be open and transparent. This is open and transparent. Let's talk about this. Let's come up with a plan that if the money doesn't come in, what are we prepared to do as a village? That's all.
I have a question.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Are we talking about the $4.8 million if we have to use, we're talking about that? Okay. Well, let me ask this. We have to use that $4.8 million to pay that loan back. We don't have a choice to like pay some of it back and keep some of it in the bank to pay. That all that has to go for that because it was allotted for that, right? Correct. Okay.
Trustee Williams.
If you could please kind of, I know we've talked about this before, so I know this has been an item of discussion as far as what this transfer needs to be for. So if you could just talk about what is going to be paid on the first, why it's important that we do this, and then talk about what the delay would be. I don't think that it's a horrible idea to talk about this next week, Tuesday, but you talked about before the timeline. And I understand that the timeline is important, However, if there's questions or concerns, I think they need to be addressed and not in this venue. Trustee Burgess said that he had ideas. He did present a packet. There were lots of identification of problems, not so many solutions. So the concern I have is that if we're going to discuss it, I think it's something that should be discussed. But I don't think that this is the venue to do it because we're not, in my opinion, we're talking in circles. So again, if you could kind of just remind the board what this is for, what 2 weeks in the voting process would delay it, what would be the ramifications of that? I know that there may be some penalties. If you know anything like that, what would be the problem? And then, based on that conversation, if as a board we can decide what's going to happen. Because as Trustee Burgess said, yes, we're going to have bills, we're going to have payroll, we're going to have bills to have, but this is also a bill that we have that needs to get paid too. So when you're in a situation and you've got 2 bills, you've got to kind of figure out what you're going to do. That's where we are. This is not new to us as a board. But it's all about identification. What are we going to do? I think Trustee Burgess is right. Let's have a plan. But if the plan is that we do this, that we don't pass this, I would like to know, what are going to be the ramifications? Are we going to cut off our nose to spite our face? What's going to happen? And I think that going back and forth, it's just not, it's not productive for me. So if you could please.
First of all, there are 3 bonds that needs to be paid out to Amalgamated Bank. The bonds are 2007 A bond. This is for the facility building of the village hall. And B bond is for 911 software as well as hardware purchase. It was purchased some years ago. And the C bond is for the fire pumper that was purchased couple years ago. B bond. B bond. The total of the payout is almost about $458,060.93. Normally, the bank requires this installment payments to be paid out to the bank well in advance of the bonds which are due, which is on 12/1/2014. Amalgamated Bank requires these funds to be transferred over at least by the month of November 10th. At the latest, they want to have their funds available in their bank so that they can arrange all the payments on 12/1/2014. If we don't pay this bond money to Amalgamated Bank, as usual, there is a credit problem with Village of Sauk Village. The rating will go down. It's already gone down to junk status. It will go down to still below the junk status. That we don't want that to happen. We don't want that to break out.
What's the status was so I can put it
The bond for the Village of Sauk Village is all in junk status. Junk status means there is no rating. Junk. J-U-N-K. So we don't want that to go below junk status once again. So that's the reason I'm insisting the board should approve and pay out right away. Whether it is in October or November, the money has to go down. The money has to be paid out to the Amalgamated Bank. And in turn, the bank will pay out the principal as well as the interest to the bond holders. We don't want to fail on them.
So you said that Amalgamated Bank requires the deposit be made by the 10th of November. Okay, so the payment can be made by December 1st. Might I offer a suggestion? Can we please place this on the agenda for next week, Tuesday, for a discussion? Because there's only 2 options here. It always comes down to 2 options. We're going to pay it or we're not going to pay it. That's it. There's no other way to sugarcoat it. But if people have concerns, I don't think that it's a problem to discuss it. Put it on the agenda for next week, Tuesday. Special meeting to follow after. We could do a special meeting for Wednesday. Anything like that to have the special meeting open, you vote, you close, you walk out. I think that that's the only way that's gonna happen, the only way that's gonna happen. I would say we could add it to the agenda for Thursday, but it's only one specific item for Thursday. If that's okay, I don't know if that's enough time for people to gather information, people to ask their questions, which is the only reason why I suggested for next week. I don't think that 2 days, this is a very big issue, I don't think that 2 days is enough time to prepare. So I'm a trustee, it's my suggestion, committee meeting agenda for next week, Tuesday, have a special meeting on Wednesday with the sole purpose of the vote. All the discussion, everything else, the hashing, the back and forth, the suggestions, the corrections, all that can happen on Tuesday. Wednesday, open, vote, close.
Good.
My suggestion.
Trustee, that's exactly what I asked for at the beginning. That's exactly what I asked for. When we have a meeting next week, put this off, and then you're right, the following week, which will be the second week of November, still gives us time to have this paid
It
for.
doesn't. The second week of November would be the 11th, and Mohan said it needed to be in the bank by the 10th, which is why I don't think it should be on the agenda for the 11th. We would have to have a special meeting to vote on it, which is what my suggestion is. And that's why I wanted to know the timeline. If it was gonna be the 12th or something like that, I don't see why we couldn't have put it off for 2 weeks. But I understand, amalgamated bank, I don't wanna get in any deeper with any banks than we already are. And I understand that there's a cost factor involved with having a special meeting, I completely understand that. But for people who are concerned about the cost factor, the $800 or some odd dollars that it's gonna be to make this decision, when we're already this far in the hole, not gonna make or break us. It's already broken. I mean, seriously, I think it's something that we need to give time to this topic. And it's not, I don't think that this is the proper venue. We have our officer who was here, who was not able to make it because he was out doing his job. And now he's here, and I think that I think we should just kind of push this away. Let's talk about it later. Let's go back to having your things, and let's kind of move the board meeting along.
So we call for a special meeting next Tuesday. We won't call for one on Wednesday. We'll get a special meeting on Tuesday. We'll call for it at 6 p.m. To review this, we'll work out the timing. But we'll have all the meetings next week that we have to. So there's no extra special meetings, and everything falls unless there's any additional funds.
Now, you're saying that special meeting, Mayor, is that the reason why you have that so you can vote?
For the discussion and vote?
You vote? Okay. That's just wanted to ask. Okay. Meaning we also have a special meeting this coming Thursday, correct?
Thursday.
And that's the vote too, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
All right. What's that?
Looking through my budget here, you're talking about this 2017 bond. That particular item is in my budget. There shouldn't be no problem paying that bond. Wherever the other bonds lay, that's your problem. But my line item and my budget that you folks okay covers that 2017 bond. So I don't know why they keep throwing this up.
Maybe the same problem with the tax revenue coming in. Again, it's in your budget, the tax revenue hasn't hit yet. So as the tax revenue comes in, there'll be adjustments taken out and loans paid back, things like that.
The reason being, the fire department has enough positive funds. When the money is commingled with the general fund, fire fund, utility tax fund, the net effect is the negative balance because the general fund has used up tons of money on behalf of fire fund. So therefore, the net effect is negative balance. That's the reason you don't have any money. The net balance is a negative balance. There is no positive cash. There is no cash.
They took all your money.
Yeah, because we have tons of funds combined together. In essence, the net effect of the balance is negative balance. Therefore, there is no money. Makes sense?
All right. Let's move back here to Chief. You have your officer here?
Yes, Mayor, on a positive note, Mr. Johnson has been gracious enough to allow me to continue. So if I could have Officer Sauk Brown come up, he's the third recipient of the annual award.
I read this once already. It's a little long, but just a brief summary. Officer Brown was chosen out of a survey that did of over 700 Illinois police agencies, and the AIM organization would like to take a minute to pay tribute to this fine officer with their congratulations and a presentation of the enclosed award. Officer Brown will also be the recipient of the Community Service Award from the Sauk Village Police Department.
Thank you very much. Sure. I don't mind.
And, I hate to leave anybody out this, but I did want to thank Community Outreach for these fabulous gifts for the police department, especially Rosie, Frank Williams, Pat Couch, Debbie Warren, Linda Todd, who I left out, Ed Schenkel, and Rose Ketchum. I'm sorry. Yeah, so thank you very much. We're much appreciative of that. Thank you.
All right, move to Sauk Village Homeland Security, Mr. Johnson.
Mayor and Board, the last 2 weeks, as we responded to 20 calls, 6 vehicle accidents, 2 fire alarms, 1 stall fire, 1 smell gas, 4 school patrols, 1 report smoke, 1 electrical fire, 1 fire in the yard, 1 gas leak, and 2 assist all agencies.
Thank you. Human Relations Commission, Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to remind everyone that the Human Relations Commission will be having their next meeting the first Monday in November, which will be November the 3rd at 7 o'clock right here at the Village Hall. We would like to encourage any residents that want to come to the meeting for the Human Relations Commission to come and to be our guest at 7 o'clock right here at the Village Hall on Monday, November the 3rd. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee. Housing Commission, Commissioner Hoffman.
The only thing I wanted to report was the House Commission's next meeting is November 13th.
Thank you. Senior Committee, Ms. Langston.
Use your mic.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Sauk Village Senior Committee's new Silver Sneaker program continues every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. The cost is $2 per class. However, there is no charge for Silver Sneaker members. Books will be reorganized for the very successful paper book exchange program. Our next monthly plus screening is on Monday, November 3rd from 1 to 2 in the Senior Center office. Monthly movie, Waterboy, is on Monday, November 10th at 12:30 p.m. at the Conathy Library. Light refreshment will be served and blood pressure screening will precede the movie. The village sponsors 3 organizations are planning holiday celebration. Seniors 50 plus are welcome to visit and join the senior clubs. On the 2nd and 4th Sunday is 3 p.m. is the fun club. 1st and 3rd Monday, 7 p.m. Sunshiners. And the 2nd and 4th Wednesday at 5 p.m. Leisure Timers, except only 1 meeting in November and December. Other events are the BMW Crossroad, a motorcycle group on the 3rd Tuesday at 7 p.m. Every Wednesday, 8 to 11 a.m. Ceramics Group. Every Sunday, 6 to 10 p.m. Sauk Village Bluegrass, which provides bluegrass, country, western, gospel music for your dancing and or listening pleasure. The largest nutrition site, the Argento Senior Center at 1700 Memorial Drive in Calumet City, on Tuesday, October 30th
at 9 a.m. will hold their Halloween party. Costume is optional. Cost for the event is $2.50 donation for lunch. Will also include a DJ and line dancing. A 50-50 raffle, special raffle, and party sticker for bingo will be available. All nutrition sites are federally funded for seniors 60+ years, Monday through Friday at a nominal cost. Boone Township Senior Community Lunch Program began last Thursday. Tickets were sold out earlier than the deadline. The next luncheon is on Wednesday, November 19th. The 200 tickets were already sold at Thursday's luncheon. Other programs include basic line dance classes, and Wednesday and Friday chair exercise, free legal assistance, blood pressure screening, art smart driving courses, health insurance assistance, especially for Medicare Part D. Low-cost senior wheeled transportation. Need to call the township for any additional information or services. Just a reminder, the open Medicare Part D enrollment began October 15th and will end on December 7th, the year 2015. Township offices and age options are available to assist. Many frauds and scams are targeting seniors daily. Callers, mailings, and emails who claim to be from IRS, your bank, credit card, Social Security, etc. are not legitimate. Unless you initiate the calls, do not give out your personal information. Guard your Medicare ID like your credit card. Be sure to review your Medicare summary notice for accuracy. And never, never agree to services from unknown source or let any unknown person in your home. The Senior Medical Patrol model: protect, detect, report. Protect yourself from Medicare errors, fraud, and abuse. Detect, learn to detect potential error, fraud, abuse, and report if you suspect you have been targeted for errors, fraud, and abuse. Report it, call the age option at the 800 number 699-9043 or the local number 708-383-0258. The next senior meeting will be on Thursday, November 13th at 5 p.m. Thank you. This ends my report.
Thank you. Lieutenant number 6. Is that? Go ahead.
Ms. Langston, there are some seniors that wanted to know if they wanted to use the senior center to have a program or to meet. Would they have to talk to you, or could they just take their license to the police station or leave their license to get the key? Or how would they go about using the center for the senior member?
Is it for a senior event?
No, a group of seniors that live in the village would like to use the senior center to talk or to fellowship or to have activities. They want to know if they want to use the senior center, who do they have to talk to be able to get the key to use the center, to come before your committee or talk to you, or could they just take their license to the police station and get the key? They want to be able to meet, to have meetings.
The senior center, it has a schedule. Every second and fourth Friday from 12 to 4 p.m. we have an open senior activity day. You're more than welcome to join it. They cannot just go in and ask for a key for an activity. It is scheduled. And this is all approved through the committee. It's not one person.
Okay, so if they want to use the center during that time, the second and fourth Friday,
Yes.
from noon to 4?
That's right.
Okay, if that committee is meeting or not meeting, or they want to meet the first and third Friday, is there something going on? I'll let them come and talk to you, and you can give them more information about it, because basically that's what they want to know if they can do.
We have a meeting with the committee, and they can attend that and make their presentation.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Item number 6, consent agenda. Any trustees have any questions, comments? Anything removed? Hearing none. Ask for a motion to approve consent agenda as is.
So,
The motion is there a second?
second.
The motion is second. Bush clerk, please call roll.
Burgess.
Yes.
Gordon.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
All right. Moving to item number 7, new business. Motion to approve accounts payable and disbursements for October 14, 2014 through October 28, 2014. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
That motion, is there a second? Motion is second. Any questions or comments?
Question. Mr. Mayor, this accounts payable has some of that money that we're talking about next Tuesday, so I'd like to vote to hold to wait until after next Tuesday, because some of this money that we're talking about voting out was part of that $457,000. Part of this budget is that, so we have to be voted to have a meeting next Tuesday and then take action. So I'd like to put this particular motion on hold until that time.
So,
The board can pass, excluding those three payments, the remaining stuff that can be made check out to excluding those three bonds.
all right, so do you want to?
I will withdraw my motion.
You know,
I will withdraw my second.
okay, so I ask for a motion to approve accounts payable withdrawn in these three amounts that we're going to use for paying the bonds, to borrow money from, and we're going to be discussing this soon anyway. So is there a motion to approve? Is there a second?
Before we make the motion, so you have other concerns.
I was going to say that we need to put a dollar amount. I think the dollar amount is, 200 because if you look on the sheet that you gave us, I think the amount would be 250,000 out of 165, 655. In other words, I think it's 720,000 minus 457,000. That would be the amount that you're talking about paying
Correct.
difference.
Correct.
I don't have a calculator up here right now, but
They
that's
have. It will be 262,587.16.
Is that the new amount, or is that what we're withdrawing from this,
That's the new
the
amount.
accounts payable?
Yep.
New amount or amount we're removing?
New amount.
It's a new amount.
Okay.
Removing $458,060.93.
Okay. So if I may, I don't know, I think Trustee Williams, you withdrew your?
I did. We have not made, someone, we've not made.
Miss-
the motion, Chair.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I would like to whoever makes the motion, if that amount is included in the motion.
Well, I'm going to put it as a number, $262,587.16.
That's what it is.
So you making a motion to approve it?
Yes, I make a motion that we pay that amount.
Okay, we got a motion to approve, is there a second? Got a motion and a second, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, clerk, please call roll.
Burgess.
Yes.
Gordon.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. With miscellaneous comments from the Mayor Board of Trustees, Trustee Williams. Trustee Myers.
No.
Trustee Martin. Trustee Poskett.
Nothing, sir.
Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to remind everyone that we are pushing our no bullying campaign and our no testing while driving pledge. And if you know anyone on your block that have not received our citizen safety alert, we have a new citizen safety alert piece that's out for the neighborhood watch. It's all on the back table. If you don't have a neighborhood watch decal for your door, you want one there on the back as well as our big neighborhood watch signs. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Trustee Burgess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a side note, October 19th, mark that date, that's when the next town hall meeting will be. It will be here in the,
November.
I'm sorry, November 19th. So that may get old. November 19th will be right here at Village Hall from 7 to 8:30. So I will have flyers out, and I'll have one to the village clerk that she put it on e-blast. I think she wants me to email it that stuff.
I understand, yes. You said put it on the e-blast?
Yes.
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 I will.
Okay, that'll be November 19th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. That's all I have, Mr.
All right. right, a few things real quick. Halloween hours this year, 3 to 7 p.m. 3 to 7 p.m. All right. Beautification committee, go back and look at my notes. We're looking to have a beautification committee meeting here at the Village Hall on November the 12th at 6 or 7? 7? Okay, we'll get the agenda and everything posted out in the hallway, so we're probably around 7 o'clock on November the 12th. And remember, there's a special meeting called meeting this Thursday, dealing with $4.8 million to resolution to approve at 6 p.m. here at the Village Hall. Special meeting next week to discuss the borrowing of the funds to pay for the bonds that will be next Tuesday. We'll probably shoot for 6 o'clock for that special meeting on that one also. So I know there's been a lot of talk and a lot of discussion about the governor coming out. It was a great thing for Sauk Village. The governor was here on Saturday, October the 11th, and he awarded us with a grant, not a loan. I should be sure to make that very clear, for our water treatment plant. If you go to our Facebook page, you can see the regular video with the governor giving the speech. We've got links on there to the IEPA, to their newsletter. So if you need an idea, I know there's a lot of questions being asked what that money's for, what can we use it for. I think the governor's speech makes it very clear. IEPA, their news statement or newsletter makes it clear also. So, yeah, I think we're in an election year, and I know a lot of things are being said, and meetings maybe get a little bit more aggressive, I think, during election years because we know people are up for election. But I think we need to make sure that we're paying attention to what's going on. Remember that there's a lot of bitter people out there, and I have here. There's bitter individuals that only have one purpose, and that's to destroy Sauk Village. They're keeping. They try to keep anything positive that's happening in this administration. They try to keep that quiet. These individuals, and right along with their cyber bullies, they believe they're above the law, they can answer to nobody, and they can police themselves. They support and encourage negativity, provide no solutions for moving Sauk Village forward. They try to discourage homeowners and businesses from moving to Sauk Village. And they're also the cause of additional litigation, which costs Sauk Village residents money. All I can say is, as your mayor, I will continue to work with our state and federal representatives. I will continue to be positive when talking with potential homeowners and while working to recruit potential businesses to Sauk Village. I will continue to take a tough stand on crime while providing our police department the needed resources to combat the criminal. And we will never lose focus of the final goal. That's moving Sauk Village forward and restoring pride and progress. Thank you. That's for a motion to adjourn.